Oh, and Jenny, the other thing that I wanted to mention about like how you can teach chakras to kids is through affirmations.
Yes, positive affirmations. That's where it starts. It starts in childhood. And that's like a form of an imbalanced solar plexus. It starts with your parents not giving you enough positive affirmations or doing the positive affirmations. Thank you for bringing that up, Julia. I appreciate that.
Yeah.
Please go on. Please go on.
Yeah. Well, what that makes me think of is, you know, being in the midst of raising 2 young kids, like I think about a lot how my voice, what I say to them, my words, is how they're going to speak to themselves.
Yeah.
Yes.
That weighs on me. That like is on my mind all the time. And actually, I'm going to name drop another author that I love, who you guys probably know is Louise Hay.
Yes.
Yes.
No. Do not.
What?
I know. Where have I been? What's the name again?
Oh my God,
Louise
dude.
Hay.
No.
She's like the mob boss of personal development.
We have to start a witch book club ASAP.
Dude,
Yes.
Louise Hayes is non-negotiable. This is like, it's
Okay.
like the you can heal your life.
That was the book that did it for me.
Yeah.
So
Amazing.
She's amazing. She's the total mob boss of positive affirmations.
Oh, God. Fuck yeah. Oh my
Dude.
God, yes.
She just died like 2 years ago at like late 80s, maybe 90. Do you know?
She's been talking about positive affirmations for a long time.
Yeah, a long fucking time. She was like one of the first people that came out like in the 80s, and everybody was like,
that's weird.
People with AIDS, people with AIDS, they were like, people thought that it was like the coronavirus. There was like, if you have AIDS, like you can't touch them, you can't be near them, you don't use their toilet seats, and they were completely shamed and like tortured, basically, people that had AIDS, and they didn't understand it, and they were dying. And she was like, we need to get support groups together of the people with AIDS, and we need to work on them loving themselves, because they've been totally like shamed. A lot of them were gay men who like had that, like they hated themselves. So she literally at first started with like just a small group of people in a house, teaching them about ways to love themselves, and like mirror work, to look into the mirror and say I love you, and she teaches all these ways. And she was the Church of Science. She grew up in the Church of Science, and they always thought you don't go to doctors. You really check in with what's going on with your body and figure out what's emotionally happening or how you're talking about to yourself that's creating that dis-ease in your body. And so and that's what I talk about all the time. I'm super passionate about it. It's like,
oh my God, it's so funny that you brought that word up, because like that is really what we're talking about when we're talking about imbalanced chakras. Like they all manifest in the physical form, meaning at this ease, meaning you are not at ease spiritually, so it's manifesting physically. I love that.
Yeah, so which is why we check in with them before they get out of hand. I'm sorry, go ahead, Julia.
What I was gonna say was that in You Can Heal Your Life, what I think is so cool about that book is at the very back of the book, she has like an index of like all these diseases, and like like it's like a prescription. It's like, oh, you have UTI, here's the affirmation. You have, whatever, you have AIDS, this is the affirmation. Oh, you broke your leg, here's the affirmation. Like literally like hundreds and hundreds of injuries and diseases and conditions. Yeah. And she has the affirmation for all of them. It's so freaking cool.
I love that.
I love it too.
I am all about positive affirmations because they have worked for me so hard. It has been life-changing for me, seriously. The power of saying it out loud to yourself and not waiting for anybody else to feel that for you is highly important. Paramount importance. I can't stress it enough. It's very, very important to love yourself and to not just love yourself in a social media form of way, because it's definitely like validating in some form. It's good, but validate yourself authentically, genuinely. Like you said, like looking at yourself in the mirror and saying something pretty to yourself. Like And you definitely can help yourself because we're human. We're going to, obviously, self-conscious is going to go ahead and be like, well, you know, are we beautiful? Like, are we, you know, good enough? So the I will, like putting the I will in front of any affirmation, I feel like really helps. Like, or the I am, you know, like, or the how am I, like, you know, have an affirmation like, I am so beautiful. And like I was explaining earlier, like, instead of saying like, you know, how am I so beautiful, like, be like, well, why am I so beautiful? Why, I mean, like, how am I getting, you know, how am I this amazing human being that, you know, that really like resonates with its fullest frequency in the most authentic way? And then, you know, your subconscious will automatically start to find ways to validate that affirmation. Instead of saying like, oh no, well, like, you know, you're really not, you know, instead of going, you know, instead of focusing on the other end of the stick, which is something that we tend to do, is really like kind of tricking your gut brain into like into these affirmations, and then eventually you'll start to kind of like find reasons, and it'll come to your head like, well, I'm this beautiful because of this. Well, I am a beautiful human because of that, and I am, you know, gracious because of this, and I am, you know, who I am because of that. And eventually this just starts coming to you, and you start flowing yourself with beautiful positive affirmations without the nitty-gritty of like the self-conscious and the self-doubt that comes with it. We need to do, because it happens. We're only human. You know, once you say something nice to yourself, like, well, so and so didn't feel that way when I was dating them, you know, or so and so didn't, like, you know, appreciate it. But if you come from a place where, like, you know, I am, or I will, or I have, you know, it you know, your mind only wants to confirm more of that.
I love that. And I think that that's also why it's so powerful that affirmations are a practice, right?
Yeah.
It's not something that you just say and like your whole being believes it with every layer and every cell. Like, it's a practice. Some days you don't feel that and you say it anyway. You practice it. You show up. You do the work, you say it, you practice it. It's that practical thing. Like, I can do this. I can say this to myself. I can say it out loud. I can say it in my head. I can write it down every day, as much as you can remember, practicing that. And actually, I wanted to share with you guys the one of the affirmations that Anna De Judas has for the third chakra. I'll give you guys two, actually. The fire within me burns through all blocks and fears.
Wow.
And the second one, which has, because I was like, when you guys were talking, I was like, I wonder if there's one that says I will somewhere, right? And the second one, well, there's more, but I can do whatever I will to do.
That's great.
That's powerful.
Are
you listening, human race? Are you getting this right now? You're writing it down.
Look at that.
Yes. Can we do it? I want you to say it, and then I want us to repeat it.
Okay.
Yes.
So the first one, the fire within me burns.
The fire within me
Fire
burns.
within me burns.
Through all blocks and fears.
Through all blocks and fears.
I can do whatever I will to do.
Whatever I will to do.
Mic drop.
So good.
I love it. So I want to say
Whatever I
things
will
about
do.
both of those affirmations. I love them so much. And I like the idea. So the thing is, in hypnotherapy school, we have these subconscious programmings are the reasons that we're getting blocked on all levels. And so we need to shift those subconscious programmings that are embedded in there. So just saying affirmations a lot of times, especially if you still feel shitty, isn't going to do anything. We have to change our vibration so that we can vibrationally match that affirmation. Saying it over and over again is good, but there's a part of us that's like, kick it back, that's a lie. Kick it back, that's a lie, right? So what I like to do is when I'm noticing myself, if I'm saying an affirmation and I can feel the resistance and I can feel that, like, I'm lying to myself, I'll oftentimes pick an essential oil that actually, like the oil of self-acceptance or oil the oil of empowerment is ginger, right? And so when I sing that, then I'll take a smell and then I smell the oil, because when you borrow from the plants, we're borrowing the vibrational energy. Plants vibrate at a
Spirit
higher
energy.
frequency.
We're borrowing the spirit of the plant.
Yes, so the plants vibrated at a higher frequency than we actually vibrate. So when we're feeling down and we're feeling low and we say an affirmation and we would just meet that affirmation with that low vibration, if we stop and we anchor in with the smell,
Yes.
then we can say the affirmation. We've taken a deep breath in. It's gone up into our brain. It's
amplified.
The brain gut connection is starting to be made, and we're able to now anchor those affirmations in with a smell, which is so powerful and intense. And it's been like, that's one of the things I love about the plant medicine so much, is it's really healing. And then also with the first affirmation, I thought a visual stimulation as well would be really nice, because in hypnotherapy they talk about you want to come at everything when you're reprogramming your subconscious mind with all 5 senses, with all our 5 senses: touch, taste, feel. You get to taste with the smell. You taste, like the oils come through and you can taste them in your mouth, right? But like lighting a fire for that one, the first one about I burn. Do you remember it? Do you guys remember? Is it memorized? Because we want to start getting it.
The fire within me burns through all blocks and fears.
I love that.
I love that too.
It burns. And I feel like I just want to light up a fire when I say it. Part of a
ritual. I love that affirmation because, you know, a good way of also balancing your root chakra, your sacral chakra, your solar plexus chakra is by meditating. But for your solar plexus chakra specifically, sometimes meditating with your eyes closed doesn't always work. I'm going to say for a lot of people, it doesn't always work. The monkey mind is kind of hard to shut off. So I would recommend that you meditate on a flame of a candle. Use fire. Incorporate that magical element. It's really good for you. Just fucking bring it up. It's so easy to light a candle anywhere, and just if you're having a hard time closing your eyes and just blanking out it and focusing on nothing, which I know, like with everything that's happening right now, I mean, who doesn't have a hard time doing that? Light up a candle. Focus on that flame. Meditate on that flame. You know, assimilate it to your solar plexus and just focus on that and have it grow from there. I think it's a great way of meditating. Not everybody can meditate with their eyes closed. It's not for everyone.
Yeah, it's hard. It's hard. I mean, God, I can hardly sit still for 3 freaking minutes sometimes. Yeah, like fire, and I love visualizing the sun, or like looking at the sun and thinking about the light of the sun, like coming from here. There's a phrase, I think it's from a song or something. It says, brighter than the light of 1,000 suns.
Ooh, I love that.
Love that too, because I'm like, how fucking bright is that?
That's really fucking bright. Oh my goodness.
That's really fucking bright. And like, I am that. Like, I am that.
Yes, you are, sister. Yes,
Absolutely.
you are. Absolutely. You are shining like the light of 1,000 suns.
Sometimes